The first news on the morning of September 12 was that the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control issued a statement announcing the addition of 32 individuals and entities associated with the Houthi rebels to the sanctions list and the designation of 4 related ships. This is the largest sanctions action against the Houthis by the U.S. Treasury Department to date. The second news was that on September 11, local time, Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu approved a settlement plan for the First District in the West Bank. Netanyahu stated that Israel's eastern border will be the Jordan Valley, that we will defeat Hamas, and that there will be no Palestinian state. The third news was that Trump stated that he would participate in Charlie Koch's funeral is expected to be held in Arizona, possibly next weekend. Trump said they are making significant progress in finding the gunman who killed Charlie Koch. Fourth news, on the 11th local time, the European Parliament passed a resolution calling on EU member states to consider recognizing the state of Palestine in the hope of achieving a two-state solution. Fifth news, Hungarian Minister of European Affairs János Bóka publicly criticized European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen's speech on the Russia-Ukraine conflict on the 10th, calling it essentially a war speech. He criticized von der Leyen for prioritizing war. First position. First news on the morning of September 12. On the evening of the 11th local time, the Houthi armed forces carried out 2 military operations against Israel. The first was to attack an Israeli military target with a ballistic missile. The second was to attack Ramon Airport and another military target with 3 drones. Second news, after Israel launched the attack on Qatar on the 9th, U.S. President Trump spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu by phone. Trump asked Netanyahu to promise not to attack Qatar again. Third news, on September 11 local time, the Brazilian Supreme Court and the National Assembly voted by a majority to rule on the previous President Bolsonaro was found guilty of multiple charges, including criminal organization and attempted coup. Fourth news, Venezuela's Interior Minister stated on the 11th that the ship previously sunk by the United States in the Caribbean Sea was merely a fishing boat, with no drugs on board. He condemned the U.S. attack as the murder of civilians and questioned the U.S. motives and true purpose. Fifth news, Germany announced on September 11 that it would increase its air patrols and surveillance aircraft in Polish airspace from 2 to 4. France also announced on the evening of the 11th that it would deploy 3 Rafale fighter jets to help protect Polish and Eastern European airspace.